Good morning and welcome to another fabulous edition of Irreverent Knits. I am Tracy. I'm the owner of Low Country Shrimp and Knits, and with me is the irreverent Judi Kirby.
Irreverent.
Highly irreverent. In fact, that's if you look up the picture.
Grand
the
Priestess of Irreverence.
Wow, that's a high title. We are trying out some new angles today on the camera because, well, they seem to be fading in and out as I go back to look at them. And I mean, I am very, very technically savvy. And in fact, I think we may even use terms like genius and savant when it comes to my knowledge of all things technical.
And then say things like, is that actually on?
What? How do you do that? Oh, you can do that? So that's a lot of what goes on. So just bear with us here. We're still figuring it all out. Someday, though, I'm going to have somebody else pushing this button. I'm just warning you. It's coming. So how's your week been, girl?
My week's been great.
What have you been doing?
What have I been doing?
Yeah,
Knitting.
I mean, other than me slave driving you here, fueled by Dunkin' Donuts, by the way, in case you were wondering, how does she do it? How does she do it all?
I didn't do anything that much this week, did I?
Dude, I don't even know what I'm doing right now, let alone what anybody else did this week.
I think I behaved myself. Gordon and I are still speaking.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I graded, and oh my God, so I'm a college professor, and so we had papers that were due for the midterm, and it robs me of my will to live because I have to grade grammar, and it's sometimes like, well, when I wake up, I ate a bicycle, and then I slept. Oh, okay. How do you grade that? Like, what? I don't even know what. Spanish. College life. So maybe that's what we attribute it to. Too much drinking the night before, which is why you ate a bicycle. I don't
know. No, I've had a good week.
good.
I've knitted. I've dyed. I've sewn. Mm-hmm. Got to sew more tomorrow.
Okay.
Big game tomorrow.
All right.
Not really. Not as big as last week.
Well, I see. I didn't realize, and for those of you that are new, welcome, and sorry, and in advance. And Judy's a big Ohio State fan.
I'm a big college football fan, but
you hail from the Ohio State.
I do, from the Buckeye State.
The Buckeye State, and I lived there for like 11 minutes, and that was it. And then they said, you know what, we don't need you. You need to keep going back northeast.
She's a semi-Buckeye fan. She has to be because she has to listen to me.
I through osmosis. I think sitting near you, I have no choice. I'm a Syracuse fan because I went to Syracuse, but they're okay. They're hanging in there. They're okay.
I have lots of friends that all of a sudden start watching them because they're tired of hearing me talk about them, I think.
Yeah.
Pat and I we helped somebody before you could buy them. We helped her one Sunday afternoon make a weighted blanket for her autistic grandson. And that's when you had to take it and actually measure the pellets, weigh them, and so you didn't put in too heavy, and then you sewed the squares. I mean, it took forever.
And math. There was math involved, which automatically I'm like,
entire
so
Sunday
sad.
afternoon, because they would pour it in and they would hold it and I would run it through the sewing machine and then we'd have the next. I mean, we spent all day. But Pat is also from Ohio.
Oh.
And so we were talking the game and stuff, and that's all we did. And a couple weeks later, I'm watching the game, and I always get texts from people, and all of a sudden I get this text from this number I don't recognize, and it says, that was not... What did he say? That wasn't out of bounds. I agree. And I'm like, yeah, but who is this? It's Victoria. You guys talked so much about Ohio State, I decided to start watching you guys. I'm like, all right.
See, I will watch it, but I also throw in my own references because the game was on one time, and I'm like, oh my God, Judi, tell that guy to get off the sidelines and stop riding his bike. We all love Cody Rigsby, but this is not the time. He needs to get in and help his team.
Well, I have a club, and if you do really well, you're in the club. Like Dobby Dobbins was one of my first ever club members, and Justin Fields.
See, Dobby to me is a house elf on Harry Potter.
Yeah, he's so cute.
Okay.
And so I have this club, and so Pat does it once in a while too. And my son, my brother will text me. He'll go, "Is he in the club?" I go, "He has to do something more than once,
right,
for it to be in."
Right.
And so there's the one guy on the team, Eichenberg, who's a defensive player, and Pat's like, he's so cute. Is he in the club? She's texting me. I mean, yeah, he's pretty good too.
Handsomeness doesn't automatically get you. It doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt.
Somebody posted a picture one time of one of them in their skivvies in the locker room. She goes, "Look, he has to be in the club." And I said, "Okay, we've taken fantasy football
to a whole new level,
different level,
whole different direction."
Fantasy football is supposed
it could
to
be though. It could be. I'm just saying, don't discount it. That's what they call it.
It's like, because she's like, "Can I deliver his welcome packet myself?" And I'm like, "Sure."
You're part of the family.
And then
Welcome.
there's Stover,
Welcome.
who's not too far from us, and they keep talking about he's a farm boy.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. I taught farm boys, okay? And when they play football, somewhere between their junior and their senior year, they bale hay all summer. And those muscles go from here to here.
Whoa.
And when they walk in their first day of the senior year, you hear gasps. That's just it. I told you. So she's like, well, she goes, you can have Stover. I've got Eichenberger. And I went, yeah, well, I think his tractor's sexy. And she's like, oh my God, I can't believe
See,
you said that.
farm girls. Hello, my friends. I'm just waving to a few people that are visiting us. Thank you so much for joining us. We do appreciate it. So I figure what today we'll do is kind of talk about what's been going on. So I promised I would bring in my final project.
That's so good. It really does.
So I finished what I was calling the dumpster fire, and it's all done. It's blocked. It's even got my little shrimp and knits thing here to prove I made it. And so I had this posted on Instagram, and I always try to promote the shop and what we're doing and the yarns that we're using. And so Knitting Fever got in touch with me, because that's with whom I work, to get Zoe and another type of Juniper Moon Farm. And they were like, hey, can we post a picture of your dumpster fire or whatever? I'm like, it has a real name. It's just not the one I'm using, because I don't want to insult the woman who wrote the design, because it's a hot ass mess, just like me.
No, it's not. It looks great. You can't tell.
Well, I can, but I've tried to like nip and tuck.
Well, that third sleeve on the back.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. That's when I'm looking behind me. So
I think it looks good.
Well, I didn't follow much of the pattern. You'll see Judy's is she followed the pattern, and I was like, oh, oops, I missed a couple rows. I guess I'll just do this now.
How come yours comes down though and mine didn't?
Because I'm fancy.
Well, no, because usually.
I don't know. I'm sure I screwed it up.
No, well, because I just tried mine on. Because usually, because having no shoulders, mine comes down that low, and mine
Are you
doesn't.
saying I'm shoulderless? I'm a shoulderless
No,
wonder?
but I don't know why.
I don't know. But I made my sleeves extra long because I
like
wanted
the sleeves.
I wanted this little point thing to be
You
kind
gotta
of
show those points.
Elvira-ish. I wanted this point thing to be like, excuse me,
Well, no,
do
it
you see my
complements
point?
it on the side.
Do you see my point? And then, so I was the fool that I am, going, I'm going to sew these darn things on backwards, because you sew them from the inside, and I'm like, it took me like 3 times to try it on, make sure I had it the right arm, try it back on, because I've done that. I've sewn the wrong sleeve into the wrong thing.
I've sewn a sleeve in upside down, and not realized it.
So you
And
put the cuff on the shoulder.
Yeah.
That probably would be a little bit. Well,
But
you could be
see,
like,
it's true about the sleeve, because I'm still on my sleeve. I just tried mine on, and we measured it, because I thought my shoulder would come down, and
Yeah.
it didn't. It's up here. So I still got 3 more inches. So I'll work
this
on
is
it
the
today.
sleeve that never ends.
I know, I still gotta do
This
one
is the
more.
sleeve that never
I'm
ends.
thinking of just leaving the other one off and always wearing a sling.
Okay, all
And
right.
that way it'd be like, well, I couldn't. I had to
This
cut it
you
off.
still have another sleeve left?
I still have another sleeve left.
Girl, yo, someone has got to stop forcing you to knit so much
I
stuff.
know.
And that person is me.
Where'd you get that tag? That's cute.
I ordered them. I got some other ones coming in, say handmade by, and so I ordered them through Etsy, and this just says shrimp and knits, and so I put it on the stuff from the shop to prove that like I can actually do, because I've had people say, can she actually even knit? Yes, I can. I just don't have a lot of time. I have 3 things outside of my family.
And I have her continually doing things.
And every time we're trying, she's like,
retreat.
could you do this? Yeah. So people came in, they were lovely, lovely, lovely from Michigan. And we were talking about how Judi was dyeing different yarns. And in fact, this one just came in, and it is absolutely stunning. We're calling this one Maggie Goes to Holland, because we thought it looked like tulips, and I did...
Better than intestinal medley, like your daughter was.
Well, that is what my daughter suggested, intestinal medley, or my other daughter suggested vampire smoothie. And I was on board with both of those, but Judy's like, they won't sell.
I said, good
They're not
names.
gonna sell,
good
that's why I
names,
make
but I
it.
don't think they'll
Yeah.
sell.
Yeah, so intestinal medley, I'm just saying, okay? Or vampire smoothie.
I
Those
did
are
like vampire smoothie.
excellent names for yarn. Okay, maybe we just need to have the macabre edition.
I think they should just get jobs naming paint chips.
Well, they intestinal medley.
That's what I wanted my
God, I love that sweater in intestinal medley. It is so good. So, and then, anyway, so that's our new hand dyed yarn
We
for Maggie
started
Loves
somewhere
Yarn.
with that, though. We started to go somewhere else with that.
I don't know
Talking
where I
about
was going
dyeing.
with that.
Oh, so the two ladies came in.
Oh yeah, so they came
Do
in.
you teach a dyeing class?
And now, first of all, for those of you that don't hand dye, and I don't have the eye. I've never had a desire to do it. Judi does amazingly at it. It's the only hand dye I sell in my shop. I love it, love it, love it. But it takes a lot of time and prep and work to get everything all lined up and then cooked and fried and, deep baked or whatever the heck it is you do to get this going on. So we can't just have like a quick, hey, let's pop in and dye. And so she goes, this woman's like, oh, do you have a dyeing class? So Judi, I don't know what I was doing, cleaning probably.
Tracy's going to have a retreat in a year or two, and we'll make sure we put that on the class list. That's
I just had that. I got nothing else.
Because you'll have several days to do it.
Yeah, a couple-day retreat. I'll just get that on top of.
She's looking at me like, I'm going to do what?
That's what I said.
And so I'm behind the people and go, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I guess we're doing a retreat. I have no idea. So anyway, look for that. We've got that coming.
And then the lady goes, I've always wanted to go to Rhinebeck. I said, oh, me too. Tracy's going to get we're going to do a bus trip probably in a year
just
or two.
Just a quick bus trip. That's all. I'm just
I've
north
done
to
bus
upstate
trips.
New York.
I know how to schedule a bus trip.
Yeah.
I've done several.
But I wanted to show you where I am on my sweater. I absolutely love this. So the Fiber Company is one of my favorite vendors. We love their stuff. I've ordered almost everything, and I finally get some tweed coming in, so that's coming in soon. But I started this project with Ciro, okay, because Ciro, it's so beautiful and it's so fluffy and soft, but it looks like there's more white in it because of and I'll grab a skein.
I was just getting ready to do it.
Let me grab a skein here. So I chose this one because it's so gorgeous, but it looks like there's a lot more white in it. But when you knit it up, the white blends in, and this one is the Fiber Company, and this one's called Ghost Dunes. So, and that's Ciro. So anyway, with working with this, when you knit it all together, it doesn't look like it's got this much white in it. It just has this gorgeous, fluffy halo, and I love it. So I've been working on it. I kind of put it aside this summer because, I don't know, life. It was hot, and life was happening, and craziness. So anyway, now I'm down to the sleeve. So Judi wanted me to show it today, so I brought it in.
So it's like the never-ending sleeve.
This is also the sleeve that never ends. I also had to pull it out 4 times because I wasn't counting right. So here's the one puffy little sleeve. I love a good puffy sleeve, and I still need to. I think I'm going to add the button row. I don't know. Last time I said I probably wasn't. I don't know. I can't commit. I can't commit to a hair color. I can't commit to a button row at this point in my life.
We don't always knit one thing at a time either.
We never do that.
Because I'm working on this at the shop.
Yep.
At home during watching TV, like The Amazing Race, when you don't want to miss anything, I'm working on the Islington pullover, and this is kind of interesting because it does have a. I don't have the pattern. It's really pretty. It's got tulips up, not really tulips. What are they? Thistles.
Yeah.
Up here. So usually you do the yoke like this sweater first, and then you knit the boring part forever. This is bottom up, and I've not done a yoke color work sweater bottom up, which is interesting. So this is done in your biche and bouche. Biche and bouche. And so they do the boring part first. So I know once I get that done, it's going to go fast.
Well, Judi has a little bit of, I believe it's called cast-on-itis.
I do. I have castitis.
Well, castitis. And now she's got 115 projects going on in her head, and I can't keep up with them.
I do them. But the problem is I get them done, and then it's like I get them done all at once. But this looks like a tweed because there's Maggie hairs in it.
It does. There are. She's with you in body and in
Maggie
spirit.
likes to lay up against me. It must be warm or something. This will be a very warm sweater.
Yeah.
But can you feel how it softens up the more you knit it?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that with this yarn, when it's in the skein, it feels rough. Like, ugh, I wouldn't want to spend this much time working with it. But you know what? The fact is that once you work with it, it does kind of soften up, and then once you wet block it, it blooms and it looks just absolutely gorgeous. And the colors are beautiful.
Yeah, look up Islington, Islington pullover. It's beautiful. It's
so that's
stunning.
the one she's working on
and then
currently.
This is my football one. This is my purloined.
That's beautiful.
My purloined knit.
It is.
This is the first time I ever really looked at a pattern and realized it came in a kit and said, I can't afford that kit. So I figured it out. I stalked people who had done it on Ravelry, and then I looked at the patterns. I enlarged the photo and counted. So this is my version of a slip stitch blanket, and I did change it up. So I'm not in trouble.
These colors here, They sing.
I know. They kind
sing.
of go, and then it comes up here. It comes bold, and then it softens, and then we were
See,
trying to
I
figure
don't
out
have
something.
the eye for this. I would never put these. They look fabulous. She does a great, of course, gorgeous job knitting. But
I didn't know whether this really worked with this, but I'm keeping it because it kind of like fades in and out. So then we couldn't figure out what I had was a green that just everything blended.
Yeah.
I got to this end, and thank God we were winning the football game, so I didn't have to. So everything blended, and we weren't sure what to do. So then she got this, because this is where I'm still at with this.
So this is this skein.
This is what I want to end up with, and I needed a color in between. So we're taking the aspen from yarn, and I'm going to double it. I have to double this too. And
this one was Malabrigo, in case you want to get some.
Those three, that in between is going to be perfect. So it's going to start out bright, kind of blend, and then kind of go bright going back.
See, and that's
why I think it'll be okay.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's going to be beautiful, and this is just such a
cool,
cool,
I love the green and brown together, but then I was like, oh, I don't know. But now I kind of do like it because it's so different.
Yeah, no, it looks fantastic, and I just don't have that artist eye. I'm like, oh, okay, I got a blue sweater on today. She told me I look like I was going to cheer for a Patriots game, so I've got my blue sweater on, but there's some red in the sleeves. So I'm like, well, I'll just wear red pants.
Oh, it looks
so
good.
I have red pants, and I have blue shoes, and that's as fancy as my getting crazy.
But you're going to take that color class.
I am going to
color
take that
confidence class.
Yes, color confidence, and then I will have even more confidence.
So yeah, in January that day, Liz and Tracy will be broadcasting this from Oxford, Mississippi.
Clearly,
I will
because
be in a class, so I won't be there.
We've kicked her right out, but because I am the internet wizard, I believe is now what people are calling me on the streets. Genius, maybe even. Clearly, I'm going to figure out how to do that because I can. Yeah, you're really, by the way, putting a lot of pressure on me because I can barely.
You signed up for the class.
Not the class. I mean the broadcast from another place on
You're
Earth.
going to be in the Airbnb.
I'm just going to be like, here I am, B&Bing it up.
You guys can do
well,
it in
no,
the
I was
kitchen.
thinking we
Well,
would wander
there's a cute
around.
little deck. If it's warm enough, you
I
can
was
step
thinking we
outside
could wander
there.
around the festival.
Get kicked out.
I think we could get kicked out of the festival.
I wanted to take this.
I have been kicked out of better places than this.
This is true. So have I. I wanted to take that dyeing class.
Yes.
And dyeing classes always sell out first, really, really fast. So it's like
what was precarious about the sign up for this festival was that it said 8 spots available. I'm like 8 spots for all the classes. So I was like, oh crap, I'm not gonna be up all night to sign up for this class. I may just be wandering around. They're gonna be like, who is this homeless girl?
I think it's whatever program they use. It says that because it
maybe
kind of like you had to put in a number. I don't know what they did. They kind of messed it up, but
she did stay up all night.
Well, not all night. Registration, kind of, yeah, because when I found out, registration was supposed to start on November the 1st. So I kept telling Tracy and Liz, I'm just staying up on the 31st.
Yeah.
I'm just going to stay up
and I'm like,
do
I'm
it.
not.
So I watched some older episodes of Friends, and I really wasn't tired. It wasn't that bad. And Gordon and Maggie went to bed at 10. And so at 11:45, I get everything ready. So at 12, all I have to do is punch in my numbers. 12:02, I'm done. Yay! And it said, we'll send you a receipt. So I figured, because it's midnight, you're not going to send it right now. So I go to bed. I lay down after moving Maggie because Maggie's like, it's snooze you lose. You're not in your spot. I got it. I move her over.
Excuse me, this spot's warm and cozy.
So I'm laying there and I just start to close my eyes and I go, boring. Oh my God. Mississippi is an hour behind us. It's still October 31st there.
Registration's not even open yet, really.
So I thought, I'm not getting up and waiting until 1 now. Because then I'm afraid if I did it again, it would take it twice.
Now you'll get charged twice and you'll have 2 spots.
So I just thought, I'll look in the morning. And if I didn't get a receipt, I'll call them and beg stupidity. But I had my receipt. So
it all worked out, thankfully. And then I was like, what do we sign it up for? And then she goes, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I just clicked on some stuff and I was like, well, just tell me what Liz is going to take, and I'll just be her. She can be my knitting bestie that day. Cause
they are twinsies that
twinsies
weekend. They're
weekend.
taking all the same classes
Yes,
together.
we are going to be twinsies.
Oh, it's going to be fun, though.
I can't wait.
It's going to be so much fun.
I can't wait. I'm also driving, and Judi is going to be planning stops along the way at yarn stores.
I did that this morning.
Did you really? Of course you did. Of course you did. That's a dangerous tool.
You go
it's a dangerous tool in Ravelry.
There's that little trip planner in
I used it when I went north. I planned my trips that way. Oh, I can stop here and go over here and blah, blah, blah.
I know. I know. And then
What
we'll
we
get
are
to
going to do is
Oxford
call
and
ahead, though. We're going to call ahead in those places and make sure they still exist,
Yes.
because several of them did not exist, and I didn't call because I was like, well, I just pull over here. I mean, so
I know.
So that was that. But
Liz and I had a couple of those when we went on our girls' trip to Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah. Those are fun. So I'm excited. It's always nice to see other shops and support local shops, because that's what we do. We got to look out for each other, right? We got to take care of each other.
Well, no one shop can carry it all.
No.
And it's my job to find it all.
Right, and then tell me to buy it all. So
it's my job to find it all, and if I don't buy it for myself, I tell her to buy it.
That's right. She's like, "Can we get this?" I'm like, "I don't know. Let me make a call." So we did. We were very lucky because I work with Lane, which is a European company, and so we had the brand new launch of this on the 1st, and so we're still debating actually how you pronounce this. So I say it's knitted Kelvala, but I may be completely butchering the language, so I do apologize. I'd like to be a polyglot,
gorgeous.
but I am not a polyglot. So
And this is the sweater I want to do. I want to marry this sweater.
she
It's so
does want to
gorgeous.
marry this sweater, and in fact she had me order all this yarn to make the sweater with because it's so gorgeous. And so look at these colors that she's chosen, and I don't blame her because look at these. Oh my gosh, aren't these so gorgeous? So we started
But my dilemma is,
Hold that thought. We just started with a new company here. We were kind of like turning over because I'm actually on the 15th is the year celebration of me signing the lease on this place. I know. So that was a year ago. This all started happening, and so we're just trying to figure. In the beginning, you don't know what you don't know, and so now I'm kind of working with yarn trying to get rid of the yarn that doesn't sell well, or I was like, I don't know, I didn't know what I was thinking when I bought this. But we're adding little bits at a time of some other wonderful places. So this one is Baah, and this is Sonoma, and they have a whole bunch of them. But anyway, so these are the ones Judi goes, oh my God, I need these, order these, because I am going to make that sweater, and I'm going to marry it.
but my dilemma is, this is done in a really bulky. There's no way I can do bulky and wear it down
Not here. You'd burst
So,
into flames.
I thought, so I played with the gauge and all, and I got it to DK, and I can do it in DK, which would be perfect down here. This yarn would be perfect for it, but I'd have to double the amount. And when I doubled the amount, it was a $400 sweater.
Well, I'm just thinking that
I can't
if you
afford that.
wanted to marry the sweater, you could always register, like a
I'm starting a
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe page.
Yeah,
a
you should do that.
GoFundMe page, because Judi needs to make this sweater
This is
in
her
these
dream
colors.
wedding to the sweater, but it can't come. We need your help to have it come
Oh my
to
God,
life.
I could wear it, but I'd have to wear it every day. So it'd be August and 102 down here, and I'd have to still be wearing this in order to justify. When
But
you're retired,
It
you
would
have
be
to think of these things.
it would be a good accelerant though when you want to burst into flames. This stuff would so I'm just saying that's
I know, but this book, oh my gosh,
It's
You
gorgeous.
just want to make everything in it. The pictures. Oh, so then I turned to one. Look at that one.
it's all so
Look
beautiful.
At that sweater.
The
Right,
color
that's my
work.
next one.
Yeah, the color work is just absolutely
The
stunning.
photography, and it's based on a what is it? Scandinavian.
Yeah.
Poem, kind of like Dante's Inferno, because this has
Warm and
cantos.
fuzzy.
The first poem of the book is called "The Origin of the World," so she based the poem on that. A sweater on that. There's 50 poems or runes or cantos in the Kavala, and so then she created different patterns to go with it. So
Like
it's
the seven
kind
circles of hell, but in a nice way.
Yeah, well, it's kind of neat because the one I want to do is based on a sea monster.
I love your sea monster sweater.
I know. So I did want to make sure it didn't have something with eyes at the top because she's kind of.
Well, and she goes, "Does this look like a penis?" I'm like, "No, I would stop you from wearing that or making
good.
that if it did, because
Okay,
that's
good.
why that's the kind of friend I am. I will tell you.
But,
Why are you wearing that giant phallic sweater? Ooh.
I was so excited to get this in. I
know.
asked her every day, "Is it in yet?"
We've
it in
got
yet?
52 weeks. There's a couple 52 weeks. There's one that's coming out, 52 weeks of Easy Knits. So this will be a great gift for people in the holiday that you just are like, oh, it's a great coffee table book, but at the same time, full of patterns and gorgeous pictures. We're getting another restock of 52 weeks of shawls, and I'm getting one more book, copy of 52 weeks of socks, because we have a lot of people here that love making socks. I am not one of those people, but They do exist.
Oh, the custom socks, the colorwork custom socks.
Yeah.
How cute is that book?
Yep. So we just ordered a new fun book, and there's one. Is it called The Chicken and the Egg? I can't recall.
It's
something like The Chicken and the Egg.
It's a footy, so it's not a big long sock.
Right.
It's so cute, and it's in that book, and it's going to be the first one I make because we've just about done all the ones that people want to do in the happily knitting socks.
We've
so
done
it's time to move on.
over a dozen. Over half a dozen pairs of socks in that book. So we're gonna now find another venue of sock making fun.
I can find it.
So we've got that going on. But anyway, so let me just quickly show you the other fun colors that we got. So we went with variegated, a bunch of different variegated yarns because I do have a lot of solids here. And so we wanted to kind of mix it up. And variegateds are super fun to play with. So we've got a couple in the Sequoia. The Sequoia is a little bit heavier. So this would be good for, again, if you're sending something up north, of course, these are great yarns for it. Aren't they so pretty and so vibrant? So we've got these going on. Also good for a hat, cowl, thing like that.
Here's the sock.
Oh yeah, here's the sock. Isn't it cute? Chicken and I'm calling it the chicken and the egg sock. Didn't even read it to see what it's called.
Easter. They call it Easter. I don't know
Easter.
why.
I'm calling it the chicken and the egg.
I know. I love it.
So La Jolla is
In other words, how you knit it. Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Exactly. That's how we're going with that. I'm renaming it as I do. I have a penchant for renaming things. So we've got La Jolla. This one is S'mores the Merrier. So
isn't that cute?
So
I love
cute.
that color.
This one is Strange Magic. And some other variegated ones. We've got the New York. It's really nice and thin. We've got Aspen, which is really fluffy and soft. And then, so this color here, La Jolla. This one's called Dragon Tail, Toasted Natural or Neutral. And this one is called French City Love. So,
and I think you're the only one around here that carries ball yarn.
It is so much fun, and it's so soft. So come love and squish it, as I always say. Touch, love, squish, feel. And we did get some other. It was like Santa arrived. I got all these fun things. So we put in an order for Cocoa Knits, and I got some of these really cool boards, magic boards. Okay, so it's called a maker's board, and it is magnetic. And so I've been writing up a pattern. People have asked for my pattern for my silly little shrimp that I make for my shop. So here are these silly little shrimp that I knit, just, because we're Shrimp and Knits, Low Country Shrimp and Knits. And so I've been knitting up, trying to make this pattern, but look, everything sticks on it. And then, you kind of use these rulers and these guides and stuff like that. And they even have all these different stitch markers. And Judi swears by these itty bitty, you can't even see the darn things.
The circles and the triangles.
Circles and the triangles that...
Well, I didn't use the triangles very much at first. But I do like the little circles because I like the ones like Liz makes, but they can get clunky and weigh it down.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
And when you're doing color
such a fun
work,
gift.
You have like every 8, you've got one. So the little circles, Gretchen turned me on to those. She goes, try these. And I was like, yeah, I really do like them. And so then a friend got me the triangle ones for Christmas last year. And it's like, I hadn't really used it a whole lot.
Yeah.
But I found if you're doing color work and you're working in the round, like when I get to this one, I will have, every 10 stitches, I'll have
something you have to do.
Yeah. So how do I get it so I know which is the difference? I put a triangle one instead of all the little circular ones.
Yeah.
So then I know when I get to the triangle, I'm back to the beginning of my round.
That's smart because I've done that where I've had to change something up and then I'm like, oh my God, which one's the beginning of, I just keep going and going. I'm like, oh, I've gone a little too
well, that's
crazy.
Not a brilliant thing. I just came up with it a few weeks ago.
It's brilliant. I'm going with it. Genius over here. So,
show the things you got to put on the...
Oh. Yeah, so we ordered these. And I immediately sold out of all of them, so I've got to order some more. But these are circular needle protectors. So what you're doing is when you're done knitting your fun, then you just throw the ends of your needles in this tube and they don't come out so that you don't drop your stitches when you put your pack of fun away. Your packet of fun away. And so if you use, a bag or something to put it in, you can put it in there without worrying about losing your
It just became
stitches.
One of our best sellers, and it's only because I came in one day and I had it on my needles and everybody went, oh, what is on your needles?
Yeah.
And I went, oh,
so she's like, oh my God, you need these. I'm like, I do need these. So, yeah, and by the way, these markers, Denise just reminded me on our thing that they're also magnetic, so you can throw them on your board and they'll stick there. And there's all different sizes and things like that.
And then when you lose them in the couch or on the floor,
you can use a metal detector. Oh,
magnet.
I was going metal detector, but try to dig them out like that way. Magnet works too. So
This is vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, that's usually where most of mine are. What is this? I'm like, I don't know. It's definitely not mine.
I had a former student the other day on Facebook put, you're an adult when you no longer kick the ice cube underneath the refrigerator and you've got to pick it up. And I said, I kind of do that with my pins when I'm sewing. And the vacuum cleaner will pick it up. I don't have to bend down and get it.
We'll get that way. Well, it's funny the things that, when you're little, things that you're afraid of, and then as you age, they've kind of changed for me. Now, I've never had I had a student that was afraid of holes. Why? I have holes. That's just weird to me. I'm like, what, just holes? Yes, holes. So I've gotten a fear of sticking my hand into the couch to get things like needles, because my children and pets love to put creepy things down there, and I'm like, oh God, ah! So I never know what I'm going to put my hand into. So I kind of live in denial about the fact that there's stuff in there, it's probably plotting to kill me.
Well, when Mike was like 3 or 4, we'd be sitting on the couch watching TV, and we'd look over, and he'd be eating a cookie, and we're like, where'd that cookie come from? And apparently he was stuffing food down in the cushions, so he'd have something to snack on.
That's snacks for later.
So you'd have to ask Mom, can I have a cookie? And I'd go, no, it's too close to dinner, or we just ate. We'd look over, and he'd be...
Oh yeah, no, my lovely cherubs like to put candy wrappers in there, because we only have 7 million garbage cans in our house. It's understandable why they can't find one, and so candy wrappers. My favorite though is when my youngest likes to have those freeze pops, the ice pops.
Yeah,
and they cut the little plastic top off, and they're long and thin, so they fit lovely, just right down the crack of the couch. So I do have that,
and they're sticky.
Oh. Yeah, and that stuff, I'm sure it's made of toxic waste. Even when you get the organic ones, it has to clearly be something that's illegal and highly flammable. So I've got at least 20, 30 at a time, I'm sure, going on in the couch cushions. So, yeah, I'm
kids. We never did that as kids.
No, God, no. I was perfect. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure my mother would have said that about me. Yeah. So anyway, so that's going on there. What are we going to have? All right, I still need to get my stocking going, all right?
Yeah, I was just going to say, you didn't have that stocking.
Well, you know what? I had to rush up north at the beginning of the month, and I put everything that I was working on that was at the shop, because my shop is utter chaos, because I'm outgrowing it as we speak. It's right now, the yarn is fluffing as we speak, it's starting to take over my life. So I kind of just put everything in my laundry room. It's in organized bags, but it's then in a pile. I live my life in piles, much to my husband's chagrin. But I'm like, I gotta get to this pile. I gotta pay this pile. I gotta put this pile away. And
this pile that Judi says I need to order.
This is the pile of, I don't know what to do with this pile. I feel like I should burn it, but I don't know. So anyway, it's in that pile. So I've got to bring that in, because I want to learn to, as Judi says. So I have that going on. And then I want to start. So I started Pressed Flowers many moons ago. We had a class here, and it's such a lovely shawl. Lovely, lovely shawl. And I started it, and then, well, she was in timeout for a long time, and she knows what she did. It was the first class. It was the first class you taught. Yeah, she's still in timeout. She knows what she did. And she hasn't apologized for it, and so she's staying there. So I think I may have to break up with her and start a different Pressed Flowers.
When you're ready to do it, you'll do it.
I'll do it. I just have to create another 6 hours in the day of time to.
You don't let me sleep. Why should you?
I mean, I don't really.
People are now starting to come in and go to us, have you guys known each other all your lives? We're like, no, just since January. We're kind of like shop married.
Yeah,
now.
We're knitting besties, and so that's my plan, is to get that started, and then I've got to start. Well, I got to start Christmas shopping. I'm not ready. I still need to figure out what we're doing for Thanksgiving.
I got Gordon's birthday present yesterday.
When's Gordon's birthday?
December 2nd.
Okay,
well, I gave it to him yesterday because he knew he'd see it. I knew he'd see it on the bank statement. So I got him. We like to watch the College World Series, the baseball, and it's always fun. And we started following Michigan State. I mean, not Michigan State, but Mississippi State and Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of weird. They've become the college baseball, because 2 years ago Mississippi State won the series, and last year Ole Miss won the series.
Oh.
So it's in Oxford.
Okay.
And he still wants to go see Oxford. So I got him tickets. So going to the game, coming in yesterday, I went, I know what I'll get him for his birthday. So I got in here. Nobody was in here yet, and I ordered tickets. So we're going to go at the end of April back to Oxford.
We're just going to preview it for you.
Yeah,
Gordon.
we're
You're
going to
welcome.
out, and we're going to watch the Georgia Ole Miss game.
Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Hopefully you'll have to dance, just like when you did with the Savannah Bananas.
No, I don't think so. But then, so he knows about it, and that was fine. He was all excited last night.
I feel like at this point you've got to, with gifts, there's not really a whole lot of surprise left because you share accounts.
But I did text my sons and say, well, then you can get him the T-shirt or the hat. That would be sweet. So they're excited. They're excited to do that.
So, well,
yeah.
that'll be
Gordon,
good.
you can't watch this.
Gordon, don't watch this. Shh. So, my lovelies have... they started to send me what they want. And, it's because I could never, ever guess what my children want. Well, Lena, I know she's going to want something with her cosplay world and artsy. And okay, cool. Just tell me what that is because I don't know what you're looking into and what you're looking for. And then Emmeline sends me stuff and I'm like, okay, I would never guess this in 100 billion years. So she sends me this one thing, Mom, I need this. And I'm like, what is it? She's like, it's a troll doll. I'm like, what?
Those
like,
troll dolls with the hair? My God, I had those when I was 8 years old.
Like,
they're 60
what?
years old.
I'm like, what? You need a troll doll? You have never owned?
in style?
I don't know. It's Emmeline. She just does her own
And you
thing.
had the hair and you would go
Yeah.
like this.
Well, my
Yeah.
brother used to startle us around the house. He had these, like, God, they were so ugly. And he had them he would just put them and all of a sudden you'd walk out of your room and be like, ah! So this thing would be right in front of you. He had them hanging from the attic one time. And so I haven't had any around me. I wasn't into them. But yeah, she's decided she needs this troll doll. I'm like, oh, okay.
Going back to startling,
Yeah.
you reminded me of a story. Of course, I always have a story.
You have a story for everything.
When we were in college, we were going into the student union one day, and there was a military recruiter there, and he had these cutouts, full cutouts of standing up of people in uniforms, women or whatever. We begged him for them. Will you give us to them he goes, well, when I leave, you can have. So he gave them to us. We had so much fun. Put one of those. Shower stalls,
You're welcome.
they only came up to here.
The
So
shower
we-
stalls only came up to there?
Yeah, so you could talk to someone while you were showering. They couldn't see anything. And we didn't have co-ed dorms back then, so we didn't have to worry. So we put one in the shower. So the one girl's showering at 6 a.m., looks over, and there's a woman smiling at her. Screamed. We were finally told, you guys need it. We did the things with, then they said, you have to stop putting them in. And so we did. So we cut off the heads, and we were standing behind them and sending letters home going, yeah, I flunked out of college, so I joined the military. Okay, Mom? And so then finally
You probably got cut off from that.
yeah, we were
imagine.
told to get rid of them. So it's
Yeah.
like, fine. But we had a lot of fun. Heard a lot of screams and
bet.
all the night stuff.
I
We would
bet.
put those things.
I would. I can't scream. Like I can't scream. There's something wrong with my vocal cords.
I can't
And my
scream
voice
real
is
well
too
either.
low. I think I can't get that like movie scream. That would be nice to have a nice, good, screaming fest sometime. And so I wouldn't be me. I would you'd hear a lot of cursing, some colorful language that should not be broadcast. But
We scream when we've screwed something up, when we've dropped stitches. or
well,
whatever.
my screaming involves cursing and yelling. It's not like that's about as screamy as I can be.
I know. So what tips do you have this week? I don't have any knitting tips. Everything's just going
I know
swimmingly.
we're just kind of getting through everything right now.
I know. It's that time of year when you start to finish things up.
Yeah, so I have some fun classes coming up. I've got 3 kids camps on the day before Thanksgiving. So if you're in the area and you want to, get your kids started, I've got a beginner's knitting, and then I have a little bit. It's called Knitting 102, where we're going to make these cute little like hedgehogs. So those, beginner classes are from scratch, and then 102 you should know already how to knit and cast on, and it's over to the left. So we've got those going on. I've got a beginner 102 class for some beginner knitters that want to just kind of expand their horizons. Can you grab that scarf that you made over there? So we've got this one coming up too. That's the one. And so we're going to teach this one. And for some reason, this this stitch
That was
is
just
my
yarn
albatross.
when I was first learning how to knit. And it was just yarn I found somewhere or somebody gave me, and I went, well, I'll try making it. But you make it in it's called drop stitch scarf. And if you make it in a fingering, you can make it in any weight. And that was when I first started knitting. I vowed I would never knit with needles below a 5. And now
No, it's only used ones.
So, but you can knit it in fingering weight, and it's just gorgeous. It drapes beautifully.
So I was like, you know what, this will be good for this new yarn that I have called Wizard, because it's nice and thick and it's bulky, and it has like this kind of fun, not ombre, but it's kind of this variation of
long ombre, long gradient
yarn. So, and it's so squishy. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just do this class. Well, I don't know what my problem is. My mental block is with yarn overs, and I just can't get them to do what they want to. So I'm starting to just play with this to see, you know, how the whole, I know the concept of it. I'll be able to teach it with no problem, but I'm trying to make this to be a shop model. So we're working on that. But yeah, so, now, we talked about this yesterday that's for me. So what did you say about pulling up from like making one?
pulling it down.
No, I mean, if you're trying to do a yarn over and you screw it up, you just pull from the bottom.
Oh, yeah. You know how like you do a make one? Mm-hmm. Just flip it on there, and then knit it so it's a hole. Not, you know when you make one and you knit into the tight part, like I tell them because you want the stitch?
Yeah.
Don't. Knit into the loose part, and it'll make the eyelet hole.
Oh. See, that's my problem. For some reason, I've got this.
If you screw up a yarn over, just add one. It's very easy to do.
That's my eye. I was like, what is this? It's supposed to look like this beautiful Swiss cheese, and mine just looks like a Swiss cheese that hit Chernobyl.
Yeah, this is flowing.
Yes, it's very flowy.
It's coming.
So,
this will block. You'll just have to heavily block this. And then, if you're looking for a gift, because, you know, everybody has a knitter in their family. Or
a crocheter, or a crafter. So I've got this list of all I want for Christmas is yarn. And, you know, and if you want it not for Christmas, I can print one that's not for Christmas. But, you know, here I live in the Bible Belt, so we went with Christmas.
And you can do things like leave it here at the shop. Mm-hmm. Or if you know your husband or a friend will never step into the shop, your husband, you leave this places where your husband will see it. Mm-hmm. Like he goes to brush his teeth and it's taped to the mirror. Mm-hmm. You know, he opens his sock drawer that's laying right there.
All good ideas.
Yeah. You know,
it was like the Christmas story. It was like the Christmas story when you put the Red Ryder BB gun ad in the magazine, Look magazine. Yes. So,
and all you have to do is mark what you want, and then you can either bring it in or, you know, you can bring it back because, you know, husbands lose everything.
I can store it for you if you need.
But then you got to get them in here.
Yeah. Or you can have them call me. Yeah. Or we can
go
online.
We're having a guys' night.
Yes, we are. Big Daddy shopping night.
And so the guys can come. We pull out the wish list.
I can wrap it up. I can. If you've got a hank, I can roll and make it into a cute little cake and put it in a little. So I've got that going on.
The gold.
Yep. So this is both of these are new Ba yarns. So
when I was part-time manager of archivers, I would always work Christmas Eve because my kids were grown and the other managers had little kids. And I said, I'll just work Christmas Eve because we're only open until 6 anyways. So I would instruct the people that day. There's 2 kinds of men that are going to come in. Those that come in with deer in their headlights, you simply suggest a gift card because they're going to want in and out. And then those that come in with the list that the wife has given them. And you take the list and you show them all the stuff.
Absolutely.
And if they start to get the deer in headlights look again, you suggest a gift card.
Right. Or you just take I'll have a seat. I'll be with you in just a minute and go and pick everything for them and then, you know, go through that. So we are here for you. So let us know. And you can print out patterns if you're like, I really want to make this sweater and I want it, we can help you with all that. So.
She can print out the patterns from Ravelry and it'll go right into your library too.
I can email it right to you. So there's all kinds of options nowadays because people do come in and say, do you have patterns? And I'm like, yeah, I have some books. I have some patterns that I've, you know, randomly got for free and I've printed out just to give people ideas. But Ravelry is your friend when it comes to...
Yeah, because it's kind of like, you know, no longer people carry big maps because they have GPS. And, you know, no... I was thinking about that. You don't have that AAA thing. Where you flip the card. Don't get the triptych. I always have
Here
a friend,
we are.
whenever we'd all travel together, she and I would drive one car and the husbands would drive the other one. She'd go, we're coming up, and flip! And she'd make a big deal out of flipping the...
We're here, we're now in this
I go, how much
trip.
further we have to go? And she'd always go...
25 more of these.
Yeah, she'd always go, this far. It's like, that doesn't help me, Sue. Tell me how many miles.
That involves math.
Yeah.
So,
But, so where was I going with that? Oh, so to carry piles and piles and piles of patterns is not space efficient.
No, I just don't have the space because I'm a tiny little
place. People really don't want to have the time to sit down and go through patterns. They can do that at home in their pajamas, like I do every morning.
Well, and you can, I've got a list of 11 things that I want to make, and you have more than that. So
I think I have like 100 and some pages in my queue.
She can live 45 more lives and still not finish everything that she wants to make.
I just, because I put them in there and I like them, and sometimes I look through my queue for ideas. It's not necessarily that I want to make it.
Yeah.
And then I look through and go,
Well, and don't you we all get on trends. Like, okay, I love making scarves. So then I find all these scarf patterns. I'm like, oh, my friend want me to make baby stuff. So I pulled all these baby patterns, and then, on and on and on. So.
Well, yeah, when I'm looking for like that, I put it in my queue.
Yeah.
I'm never going to knit all those. Those are just ideas that I want to have.
Yeah. So we've got that going on.
If I don't finish this flaming June, this is going to disintegrate this pattern.
Mine fell apart. Mine is in
on
shambles.
the edge of falling apart, and I still have one more sleeve to go.
Mine is in shambles. And then we had this one woman come in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love the sweater that you're working on. And she's like, oh, here's my pattern. And it's in a perfect little binder, and it's in this little plastic shelving unit and the whole thing. And I'm like, oh, here's mine.
I used to do that though when I saved patterns, but I don't. They're in my.
I print them now. And plus I write all over everything, and then they're all. And I have no idea what I've written. Even when I've gone back to it, I'm like, I'm not sure
and now
what this
that they're
means.
going back to beautiful books, I will just print off maybe the chart.
Yeah.
So I can carry it around.
Yeah.
Some of the books, like the custom color socks or the fun color work socks or whatever it's called, I just downloaded because. I can get carried away with hundreds and hundreds of books, and we're supposed to be downsizing, so that doesn't really work. Mm-hmm. So I put it into my Knit Companion, not Knit Companion, my ebooks. I just buy it as an ebook.
I know,
which is fine, but you really can't.
There's just something so lovely and tangible.
I know. Well, that's why I'm doing this.
I know,
but I just can't do that for every knitting book I want.
No.
So then I take a picture of it. I take a screenshot and then print off that screenshot.
Yeah.
And then I have the chart.
Right.
Because I don't need to print off 5 pages of the story that goes with this, the sorry woman or whatever.
And those are different charts? They look exactly the same.
That's a chart.
But what's the one next to it?
I don't know. Same chart.
Why was that?
That's the sleeve. No.
It's like chart twice.
No. Yoke chart.
Oh.
Sleeve chart.
I see.
Okay.
I stand corrected. The same chart, but called something different.
Well, I can read this about what the gauge is and the needles and how to do it, but I need the chart because I can,
right,
do the
pattern
highlighter or whatever. So I may just print that off.
Okay.
And it's fine. And so I've learned to do that because, I put all my notes here about how many yards I would need in that, and that's fine too. But because this is so beautiful, I wanted the book.
Yeah.
The socks I can do as an ebook.
Right.
I don't need them constantly. Like the
although we do have
the
Happily
Nordic,
Knitting
the
Socks.
Scandinavian.
So funny.
Yeah. Pardon me?
I said the Happily Knitting Socks series. So funny.
You have to have that.
Have to
book.
have that.
I had
book
to have that.
It's so funny. So we've got that. All kinds of fun things going on.
Somebody was in here with her grandchildren yesterday, and she goes, "Well, I want that the Back to Nature socks. Is that a pattern?" I went, "It's in a book." And she goes, "Well, which book?" I went, Happily Knitting Socks. And I went, "And it's not one you really want to show your grandchildren."
It's irreverent, which is why we enjoy it so much, and it works right into our Irreverent Knits.
It's 2 guys from Europe, and they're as irreverent as we are.
Bless them.
And someday we have to meet them.
Mm-hmm. Well, Judi can set that up.
I will. I'll set that up.
Usually she tells me to do it, so I'm going to throw it out there beforehand.
Tracy will invite them here for a trunk show. I'll literally put them in a trunk.
Well, yes.
Well,
some people jump out of cakes. We can just have them jump right out of a trunk.
But you know what? You're in the perfect spot to be able to invite teachers and stuff, because who wouldn't want to come to the coast, Hilton Head and Bluffton?
We'll have to have stuff series through the winter. Yep, the winter, so that they're like, I need to get out of Scandinavia and go to some place where it's slightly warmer. Although, it's not beachy weather down here in the winter. We do get cooler. I don't want to say cold because it's not cold. I grew up in the north. You grew up in Ohio.
But the water gets cold.
Not cold.
The water gets cold. It really does.
Well, you're not swimming in it. Although we did do a polar plunge, as they called it, just I guess for the sake of naming it something. But we went in on January 1st, I think 2 years ago, and it was 70 degrees that day.
Yeah,
the water was
It was a little chilly.
Chilly.
But
A little bit chilly, but
you know, my friend Lori that has a condo in Myrtle Beach is only 3 hours north from here.
Yeah.
But it's a big difference.
Oh, yeah,
I've been there when they've had snowflakes
yeah,
and we've
yeah.
had nothing. So it's really cold. And she says her favorite thing to do is to sit with a margarita around spring break time in February and put her feet up, because it is oceanfront, and watch all these college kids come from like Ohio,
thinking
New York,
that
and
they're
all,
going to be in
and
this
the
warm
girls
weather.
have on the bikinis and they're running into the water and it's cold.
Oh, yeah.
And all of a sudden she says they're like, ah! And they're running back out. And she says it's hysterical.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, I grew up in Rhode Island, and, you know, it would be hotter than Hades out, and literally your feet are burning as you're touching the sand to get to the water.
the water's
And then you get in, you're like,
I know.
so both are torture.
That's where I learned to swim, when I lived in Rhode Island.
both are torture, because you had to stay afloat so you didn't drown.
Well, the
hypothermia.
teacher stood on a dock with a sweatshirt on.
Yeah.
And made us be in the water swimming.
That's how we did camp.
So it's like, if you could survive that, you can survive swimming
You were going to
anywhere.
get in there and don't drown
I
or
did. That's what I
freeze,
did.
and once you get out, you'll be fine.
I took it. I
You'll
couldn't
be
believe it.
fine.
It's like,
Yeah, that's
what am I doing? You know, I was only 10 at the time. I'm like, okay, what is wrong with this picture?
because
She's
you're
up there in a sweatshirt.
Your YMCA
and I'm in
camp,
the
I'm sure.
water.
Yeah, I did the YMCA. I was a counselor at the YMCA camp. We're like, yeah, it is too cold for me, but you guys are fine. You got a towel, right? I know it's sopping wet because you dropped it in a puddle, but you're fine. We're all
I
fine.
did that. I cannot believe I did that.
Yeah, I did that too. That's
My
part
brothers were wiser. They said not. One of their last name was wiser, so they were wiser, and they said, "No, we're not going to do that." No,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna
no,
do it,
we
'cause I'm a rebel.
dumbass. My dumbass was right in there, like I'm doing this. I am so swimming this summer. It is hot out. It is cold in this. Now I'm hot. Now I'm cold. I mean, that's just. That's
Well,
New
and
England.
sometimes during
That's
the
why
summer here,
we're very
the summer here, you get in the ocean, and it's so much too warm.
yeah
it's not comfortable.
yeah. The pools get so hot because it's so hot and humid.
But
and
if you would
sunny.
like to teach for us at Tracy's retreat, we're going to do that in the winter.
Yes.
We just decided it would be in the winter now, because then you would want to camp because it's warmer here.
at the retreat
Like
that I
today,
have
it's
to host
November
now.
the 4th, and it's going to be 78 degrees today.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yep. But yet we're all in jeans because it's so cold.
Well, it was. It was only 65 when I left the house.
Yeah, Judi came
No,
in and
that's
she's
not
like,
the reason why.
I'm so sick of this sweater weather. It is so cold here. I want to wear flip-flops. I'm like, it is not cold. It is not cold, but it is cooler
I
for
wore jeans
this
today
area.
because otherwise I'd have to shave my legs, and I didn't want to. this
Yeah,
morning.
no one needs to see that mess. So anyway, all right. So we still haven't even talked about what our next projects are. All right, so
Well,
I'm going to
your
do
next
my
project is that.
I'll get it. So I
I'm
keep talking
still
about.
working on my sleeves,
All
but
right.
as I told you, this is going to be a spring.
Nope, I'm not taking.
And
that
I'm
down.
working on Islington.
All right, here we've got.
I'm going to finish probably. I'll have this done by football. See, I only work on this blanket on Saturdays while I'm watching football.
And then Judy's going to have a colorwork class in
This is gorgeous.
this, you know,
Those
the
I
fingerless
saw at a trunk show
mitt.
and had to make them.
fingerless mitt. So
And you know, people were like, "Oh, but look at the other side. You have to do the other. Don't show that side. It's wrong. There's a mistake on that. You just have to learn which hand to wave with."
there's a
See what I did?
mistake.
Yeah,
on it?
look.
No.
Right there.
Oh, for
Look.
God's sakes. Okay. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh.
What bothered me? It bothered me. Anyways, people are like, "Well, you can do the back plate."
Oh, and it's totally your waving queen hand. You're definitely going to have to. What? Oh,
Oh, it is.
Judy. God,
You know-
we may have to break up. I mean,
I was-
if I can't wave like a queen in this, I have to do it like.
I was at a parade one time, and I'll never forget this, and I've always done it. These 3 guys were next to me, and they were hysterical. And it was the corn queen and all of them coming down.
Of course,
And
the corn queen.
They go, oh, do the queen's wave. And so the queen's wave, they taught it to me, is wrist, pearls, and rest. Wrist, pearls, and rest. So I did wrist. Everybody with
You
me.
can't now.
Do it all together now. Wrist, your pearls, and rest. So, anyways, these are called wish makers, and they're really fun.
They're
to
really
do.
cute.
They're fun to do. I love them, and they're not dirty. That really is the color of it.
No, you know what? I was looking at them because I need to get some outdoor gloves for when I run. I got some, but they're like a little bit too heavy.
Yeah, these
for
are
my,
perfect.
For my
I wear
fingers.
these when I'm walking the dog.
But then when I get hot, I'd have to chuck them, so I don't think I'd want to be wearing. I mean, I can
But
chuck
these-
this one. This one's disgusting.
Oh,
This is a mistake. Oh my God. But yeah, no, I'd have
you know
to.
when I was doing that one, I know
When you
that
were,
one.
drunk?
No, I was working on this one. I was at the knitting club, and I'm working on it. This is going bad. and I'm working on it, and it's going really well.
Hello.
And somebody decides to show me her 500 pictures of her new grandchild like this, over and over and over.
Hold on one
and
second.
Then she goes,
we're just finishing up our broadcast. If you would like to
Come
join
on
our
in.
broadcast or hang out.
No joining. Okay. Just let me know whenever you're ready.
We got just a few more minutes. Open at noon.
No worries.
Thanks.
So I'm like, yes. And she left, and I looked down and I went, damn it, Martha, I blame this one on you.
But look at this picture.
No, she kept going.
Of people
And
I
you
don't
what?
know.
It was understandable because the little girl did have a health scare, and she was going through a lot of testing, and so she was showing me what was going on, and everything came out. It was a happy ending, except for
that,
so
which is embarrassing.
The next time when she came in, I went, I blame you for this. And she's like, I'm so sorry. No, you're not.
Not sorry enough.
So you wear, but I do. I wear these. I like fingerless mitts. They're perfect for up down here.
Yeah.
Especially
well,
in the morning.
I just ordered sleeves, which is a weird
did you get
thing.
tack sleeves? That'd be cool.
That would be cool. No, I just got regular sleeves to run in because I get hot and my arms are cold and I'm a hot mess, and I got to start running outside now because I'm starting my official 12 weeks of training for the half marathon is officially starting next week.
She'll get it. So this is called Wishmaker.
Wishmaker. All right.
I love the pattern.
So we'll have to do that.
I have a cardigan pattern that kind of has those that are big and go down. I want to do it really bad, but it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I just don't know.
Yeah, that's in your queue. But we've got this coming up. I have to come up with a couple more Knitting 101. I have one on Saturday. So if you are in Bluffton, would like to join my Knitting 101, it's from 2 to 4 on Saturday. So we have that available.
So we have beginning, we have intermediate, and we like to challenge you. And that's why I like to do the color work. So if you're into the challenge, and we don't do it so that, you have to have this done by next week. It's never that way.
No.
This is my challenge, and I'm going to work on it when I can. And if I get stuck, I come in. That's what Donna is doing with the Linnea sweater. And she got stuck. And it didn't look good. And so she goes,
we're here.
On the way in, she goes, I know she's going to tell me to rip it out. And I said, see, you want me to tell you that? And she goes, yes. So she ripped it out, and we talked about it, and she did it again. And she was I'm losing stitches here. She was so much happier with it.
Well, yeah, and I mean, even simple things. So I have a person that found us online, and she brought in her sweater. She's not a knitter, but she asked if we could fix a sweater that she had purchased. So there was a giant hole in the collar. So
the collar had just come apart.
The collar had frayed, and so she brought it in, and we were able to find yarn that sort of matched it, and I put the whole thing back together just the other night.
It looks perfect.
But
you know why that came apart? That's machine knitted.
Right.
And you do it in sections and then sew them on.
And you sew them on. So the piece that had fallen apart is here, and then I just knitted
sweater.
it's beautiful. I knitted all these pieces back together so that they wouldn't then ladder and fall apart, and then I just kind of darned it back together. So anyway, those are fun things that we've got going on here at Low Country Shrimp and Knits.
So she's going to be working on her stocking next week.
I got to remember to bring it in. So can you please
helps.
remember? It does help. I mean, I've gotten so far. Hold on. Here I go.
Well, that's because you put the dominant color and the main color, the background color in this hand, and your color that you want to pop in this hand.
All right.
And then you can do them with it both on this side. You just have to remember the color you want to pop is over to the left.
Okay.
But this just goes faster.
Well, I want to learn to do this anyway because now that's going to upgrade my knitting to the next level. So
and then she can teach the classes, and I just come in and take them.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna get on that.
Come in and knit.
I'm gonna get on that. I still have to finish my bag. I haven't had any chance to work on my Intarsia bag. I've got
pressed flowers.
Pressed flowers going on.
You started a sock. You're never going to finish the sock.
Oh no, I hate the sock. I hate it. It's going to live over there as an example. It's going to be an example. Let my sock be an example to you, okay?
Look, I have sock yarn. That's basically what it is.
Don't do these. Ever.
Oh, socks are just when you have a husband that's a hypochondriac. Socks are good to knit when you're sitting in the parking lot till 1 a.m. You can knit socks and wait for him to have them tell him you're okay, you're not dying.
I have my levels of brainness, so when I'm actually fully conscious, fully ready to work on something, and it's more intricate when I just need to like.
Well, yeah,
I've got
that's
that
why
too.
I have this for football because it's just slip stitch. This I do in the evenings because I'm tired and I don't want to do anything more color work. This I do at the shop, and then my other stuff like my socks and stuff I do at home when it's just Maggie and me during the day.
Yep. So those are the projects, and hopefully I can. My daughter keeps asking me to make some baby sweaters for her baby dolls, so I'm sure there will be one in the precipice.
Oh yeah, but listen, come in, pet the stuff. Tell us what you want to see.
Things that sound dirty and are.
Tell them we want to see Tracy do, and then this blindfolded, whatever.
Okay, let's not do that because
when you get that stocking done.
when I get that stocking done,
You'll be ready to do this. But there's a lot of fingerless mitts that are just plain and very quick. That's how I started to learn. You know what? The plain ones are fast car trip ones.
Yeah.
You can bang out a pair.
I'll just bang one out while I'm driving to Oxford.
Well, you won't, but I can.
Okay.
I'll take turns. I'll drive that tank once in a while.
No, that's quite all right. Okay, my friends, well, that is our hour, and we didn't really even talk about knitting too much. We mostly just blathered, so that's why it's not
we didn't. We showed a lot of yarn.
Oh, we did.
We gave you a lot of ideas for fun projects.
We sure did.
We started my GoFundMe page for my $400 sweater.
That's right. When she's going to marry the sweater, she can't afford to.
We showed you the books. We talked about new books coming in.
That's true. New products that we've got
New
here.
Sock of the Month Club starting in January.
That's true. And
with
you've
a new
learned
book.
a little bit more about our lives than you probably wanted or needed, but you're welcome for that.
You feel sorry for Gordon being married to me.
Well,
and
I mean,
a lot of people are.
But we love Gordon.
Yeah, he's making his dividers.
I know, I love me some Gordon. So, anyways, thank you so much. Again, this is our broadcast weekly. Every Friday, we're here for Irreverent Knits. We start off on Instagram, and then I do post all of the past back episodes on YouTube. So you can always find us at Shrimp and Knits. So if you Google that, I'm probably the only Shrimp and Knits
I think so.
on Earth. So
And go Bucks.
And go Bucks. So we've got that to look forward to this weekend. We hope you have a fabulous week. Stop by Low Country Shrimp and Knits. Check us out online at shrimpandknits.com. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. I have a TikTok account, but it's pretty much just sitting there like staring at me like, girl, you need to get your
I have no
act
idea
together.
how to use that thing. So.
I don't either. And my children do, but yeah, it's just another thing I need to do. So have a fabulous